session, Equal Opportunities and End Discrimination under SDG10 by Ms. Ernestina Mensah. Ms. Ernestina is a CIMA qualified and experienced young banker. She is currently the unit head of market risk for Bank of Africa, where she manages the risk on the bank's balance sheet. Her biggest success has been the launch of the Glimmer of Hope Foundation in September 2020 during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. The foundation was launched with the vision of shaping the future by preserving the heritage of the young child, and it has embarked on several projects across the country, such as Peace and Health Drive, Mentorship and Back to School Drive, where uniforms and school accessories were given to students to aid in the education, and Clothing and Feeding the Needy Drive. She stands by this firm belief that education can end the vicious cycle of poverty among the less privileged in society, which will eventually help boost the world's economy as the quality of the human capital improves. As the founder and CEO of Glimmer of Hope Foundation, her vision is aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, as she believes that everyone deserves access to clean water, quality education, food, and quality healthcare. She's able to do this through the help of the foundation, which provides these to the less privileged in society for free. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ms. Ernestina. Over to you for your session, Equal Opportunities and End Discrimination under SDG 10.
Thank you for the introduction and greetings from Ghana to everyone. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share with you on Target 3 of SDG 10, which talks on ensuring equal opportunities and ending discrimination to achieve reduced inequalities in the world. Equal opportunities means that wherever you are born in society, you will still have a good chance to reach any job, profession, or position in society. It should mean that children born in privileged sections of society shouldn't have an unfair advantage, which enables them to gain better jobs and lifestyle. I must say, almost all the goals for the SDGs will be achieved if we promote equal opportunities and end discrimination. Reducing inequality can look at promoting equal opportunities among genders, among countries, and most importantly, within countries. I'll talk briefly about each of the pointers just mentioned. Reducing inequality among genders looks at giving equal opportunities to both boys and girls very early for them to have equal access to education. Education for girls is necessary for eradicating poverty because women will be able to share the huge burden of suppressing poverty. When women and girls are educated, double the progress is achieved because double the people will work for each nation's betterment. And honestly, I don't know which nation wouldn't want this. Reducing equality among genders has a huge benefit for each nation's economic development as it has higher chance of breaking the cycle of poverty. Reducing inequality among countries looks at giving support to poor and developing countries for them to also reach the level of developed country so that a person who grows up in one country shouldn't be at a disadvantage due to the country they are from or the country they grew up in. A child who grows up in Africa or Asia, for example, should be able to attain the best education and healthcare even in the home country and should be able to compete at an international level. Another issue is whether children from poor backgrounds are more likely to stay poor. Area of mass unemployment and limited prospects can make it difficult for children to gain improved academic and business prospects. Employers may sometimes intentionally discriminate against people from certain areas, postcodes, and countries. Often, we get areas of high local regional unemployment focused on one particular area of a city. To provide equal opportunities for those born there may require government intervention to try to reduce regional inequality. This could involve moving public sector jobs to deprived areas, or it could involve regional grants to help improve local infrastructure and facilities in deprived areas. Then reducing inequality within countries. This is critical as it looks at sharing the nation's resources equally so that a person who grows up in any part of the country will not be at a disadvantaged position. Currently in Ghana and most parts of Africa, we see people migrate from the less developed part of the country to the capital town just so they can earn a living, and usually these people don't even mind sleeping on the street, and that endangers their life. I believe that this challenge could be solved if the government is able to share the nation's resources evenly. When the nation's resources are evenly shared, the country will become more prosperous because everyone in the country will be empowered to contribute towards the nation's betterment. The human capital will be improved to solve the nation's challenges. Everyone is uniquely gifted to solve a challenge in the world, and harnessing this gift will result in a better nation, continent, and the world at large. Giving every person in a country equal opportunity can be achieved if government is able to provide universal access to education, training, and healthcare. So on education, we see that education is the most important tool for promoting equal opportunities, as education qualifications are one of the major determinants for universal acceptance and job offers. When people have equal opportunity to gain education and skills, this goes a long way to promote equal opportunities in the labor market. If people have the opportunity to gain the relevant qualification, in theory, children can overcome any disadvantage they may have from their family background. Even if you are born in a poor background and you're able to gain access to education, your life should be able to be better off. To create equal opportunities in education is a big issue also in itself. In theory, if everyone in society is entitled to go to school and complete at least their first degree, then that ensures a certain level of equal opportunities. However, some basic to senior high schools, usually in prosperous middle class areas, tend to be more successful than others. If a child goes to a failing school, it will prove much harder to get the same qualification as a student who goes to a school with a better teaching, better resources, and a positive atmosphere. This hampers the equal opportunity for everyone to achieve a university degree. In Ghana, I must say there is free education up to senior high school, which is such a great thing. However, just as Ghana and some other developing countries, we still have schools with poor amenities and some even under trees. Worst of all, some children in some deprived communities have no access to education due to the fact that there are limited schools in their communities and the schools are not accessible to them due to the distance and certain barriers, unfortunately, like crossing river to go to school. To overcome the problem of unequal education, government could spend more money on failing schools. Example, pay teachers a premium to teach in deprived areas with poor results. The whole community should be improved to attract and retain the quality human capital needed as the teachers who will be teaching the children. Some universities around the world have argued that they need to offer different grades depending on a child's school. For example, if a child is privately educated, this better quality schooling helps them to gain better qualifications. Therefore, some universities have argued to attract the best students, they would offer lower grades to students who went to school with a poor academic record. The universities may argue this is necessary to place students back on the same level playing field, which I agree. So, as well as education, a key factor in determining the chances of a child is the way they are brought up, which is parenting. For example, if a child is brought up in a broken family or in an area of high unemployment and limited prospects, it is more unlikely that they will have the same chances as those brought up in much more affluent areas by parents who spend more time promoting the interests of their children. Recently, I spoke with a woman who is part of Glimmer of Hope Foundation to check up on her and her daughter as they are both part of the foundation. So she mentioned to me that she is preparing, her daughter is preparing for the final exams, and so she is helping her out. She said the girl has coal mass coming, and to quote her, she said, "We are preparing for it." So I came in and said, "Wow, you are using plural, we." And she smiled and said, "It's like both she and the father are all writing the exams, as they're all sleeping less." I was impressed that a parent could be so much involved in their child's education. Parenting is a difficult factor to legislate for. Government policies cannot prevent parents from divorcing or dealing with issues like alcoholism or absent parents. Some governments have adopted the initiative of making parents legally responsible for ensuring their child attended school. This is an attempt to place responsibility on parents to make sure that their child values school. However, this cannot change the culture and mindset of parents who take less interest in the academic welfare of their children. Then there is an issue of children who have no parental guide or children who grow up on the street. Due to the foundation's work, I met a woman who was 28 years old and was expecting her fifth child. This issue is very sensitive for me because each child had different fathers. And the scariest part was that she didn't even know where her other four kids were. And she said this was a life on the street. You need to fend for yourself. She also grew up on the streets and doesn't know where her mother is. I believe to promote equal opportunity and end discrimination, government should have policies around the upbringing of children. Children shouldn't be seen hawking on the street, sleeping on the street, and living in extreme poverty. The children who grow up to make the next generation. Children grow up to make the next generation, and if you want a better world, government should be part of children upbringing. I know there are policies around this in developed countries, but developing and poor countries should also catch up fast on this if they are to achieve the 17 SDGs and promote shared prosperity by 2030. Healthcare is also another issue to help us achieve equal opportunities because everyone deserves a good healthcare, lifestyle, and good health. If people have poor diet and poor healthcare treatment, they may struggle to retain employment and have a lower quality of life. To some extent, universal healthcare provision can overcome this problem. However, it may need additional policies to promote good health. These policies could include taxing on healthy foods, subsidies for good food, free school meals, and education on improving healthcare. Government could also provide very subsidized and effective national health insurance for the citizens to make sure that everyone has access to good medical care, which will allow them to achieve their desired goals in life. In summary, achieving reduced inequality is paramount in achieving the other 16 SDGs. And this can be achieved by promoting equal opportunities among genders, among countries, and within countries. I'll end by charging every member of every society to be part of reducing inequality in the world. It doesn't matter how much money you make, if everyone around you is hungry and sick. This is why we all need to be involved in promoting shared prosperity and reducing equal opportunities. I'll conclude with three quotes, two from Bernie Sanders and one from myself. A nation will not survive morally or economically when so few have so much, while so many have so little. The problems we face did not come down from the heavens. They are made, and they are made by man. They are made by bad human decisions, and good human decisions can change them. And together we can change the world for the better by changing ourselves and looking out for our neighbor. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ernestina, for that inspiring session. I think you are doing an amazing job through your foundation, and but we have a lot more to achieve. Hope the efforts we are putting create some impact and we'll be able to create a change together. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.